resistance, and they give us reasons why we don't have to go out there and do what we know we should be doing, which is working our business. Now, and when I'm working with people with this, the truth is once you isolate what you fear, you're halfway through it. And that's the key. I want all of you to think about the people that you are leading in this business, either people that are already on your team or that you'd like to have on your team. And what happens is that at some point in time, all of us are going to hit our fear. And when we hit it, the question is, will it win or will we win? And when I'm working with people, I want people to learn how to identify what that fear is. Just look at it, all right? A friend of mine named Susan Jeffers wrote a great book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Right? Feel the fear and do it anyway. And what she said in her book is that everyone has fear. We can't get away from it, you know? And some of the fears is not all bad. The truth is how we handle the fear that's the important thing. And if you're really afraid, if you're going through a rough period, the affirmation you want to use is, I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle making more money. I can handle picking up the phone. I can handle giving a SOCAI to more people that I meet out there. I can handle this. And what that does inside is instead of just being in fear, you learn to pivot. And literally, I have people sometimes, if they're really afraid, stand up, say what they're afraid of, and then turn, pivot. I want you to pivot in your thinking. I want you to have something different to talk about. And to the question of how do we change this, here's how we change it. We change it through affirmations and visualizations. We change our messages in our head by being intentional, by pivoting away from the negative into a positive message. And you have to create the positive message. Now, the way you create it is through affirmations and visualizations. Let me talk to you about this. I think you've probably heard some of this, something about affirmations before, but we have some new brain research that you may not have heard. Affirmations are goal-directed statements said in the first person present tense, all right? Well, first person positive. I like to use the words I choose. But you say them in the positive sense. You say them to yourself. There are ways that you are programming getting what you want. And these affirmations have been used for everything, along with visualizations. Visualizations is just seeing it. Seeing yourself in that coming up here and getting one of these wonderful awards. Or seeing yourself move up a rank to presidential, move up a rank to ambassador. Seeing yourself being the top producer, seller in the company, whatever it is you want to see. Seeing yourself 100 pounds slimmer in your cute new outfit, whatever it happens to be. So visualizations have to be married. You have to be able to see it and say it. Put them together, and that creates a powerful new belief. Now, affirmations, as I said, you're affirming all day, every day. Every day that you get up and you say, this is going to be a great day, that's an affirmation. Or if you get up and you say, oh, my back hurts, this is killing me, this is an affirmation. So you are affirming all day, every day. That's where we get our self-talk. Let me give you an example of affirmations and how I used it. I'm a mom. I have 5 kids. And when I was raising my last one, Heather, Heather was in junior high school, and I was taking her to school. And every time I took her to school, she wanted to listen to her music, which of course she would. And I wanted to listen to positive tapes, positive, CDs and tapes. And she went, oh, God, that stuff is awful. I don't want to listen to it. Well, her music at the time was a group called Twisted Sister. So I didn't want to listen to that. So we decided we would each have to pay a price. So in the morning, she would listen to my positive stuff. In the afternoon, I would listen to Twisted Sister. Now, I know the research. I know that what you focus on, what you pay attention to, you take in. So I'm trying to do everything to block Twisted Sister. But I also know that I'm throwing her some of this good affirmation stuff. And that even if she hates it, even if she says she doesn't want to listen to it, if she's in the car, she's taking it in. So she's taking it in, she says it's awful. 6 months later, I heard her walking down the hall on the phone with her best friend. Well, you just need to have a positive affirmation. And I went, yes!
It's working.
And I never learned one lyric to Twisted Sister. So, who won, right? to ourselves is what we become. Whatever we focus on, we create. When Orville and Wilbur Wright were trying to create the airplane, they didn't focus on the ground. They focused on the sky. When Edison was working on the light, he didn't focus on the darkness. He focused on the light. It's very important that you understand that where you put your attention is what you will create. And that means that you have to intentionally, because our attention always goes, many times it goes unconsciously to things we don't want to create. We think about how much money we're not making. We think about how we're not recruiting. We think about how things aren't going the way we want them to go. We think about how much weight we're putting on. All those kind of things. Make sure that we get what we don't want. So here's how you pivot. You pivot and you have another statement to say. Statements are based on this. They're based on affirmations. And the affirmations have to do, you have to do them in a specific way. Now, I've taught affirmations for years. You've probably learned them for years. And many times when you've heard affirmations before, you've heard say, I am. I am selling the most of the new peanut butter cup of anyone in the company. I am recruiting 150 people in the next year. Whatever it is. Okay, so you say I am. Here's the problem with that. As soon as you say I am, if you are not at that moment doing it, you say, yeah, right. Yeah, sure you are. You're watching TV. You're not doing that. So, inside of you, there's an integrity switch that gets thrown to the negative if you're saying something that you don't believe and that you aren't at this moment doing. Okay? So the problem with saying I am is that people can say it for a long period of time, but if they don't believe it, they don't create it. So we have to make sure that what you're saying is in alignment with who you are and how you feel right now. Here's how we do that. Instead of using the words I am, use the words I choose. I choose to go out there and give the gift of my business to the people I meet and know the right ones will show up and be on my team. I choose to make 5 phone calls every day. I choose to pick healthy foods for my weight loss program. Whatever it is, all right? I choose. Why? Because I choose is an action verb. An action word. And it helps you see that there's a choice and that you are making the choice to go down that path. So I choose. Then you need to be able to believe what you say. Okay? Whatever you say, you must believe. It can't be so outlandish or so big that you go, yeah, right. Okay? Now, this isn't you, but I've worked with other companies that tell people what to say. They give them affirmations. That's not very effective. Unless you totally believe what you're saying. So, affirmations are a part of you. You've got to believe it. No matter how big it is, if you believe it, it's fine. But if you don't believe it, you need to make it the size that you can believe. So you may want to make it smaller. That's all right. To move you along the path. So you must believe it. Number 3, you must feel good when you say it. It's got to feel good to you. You've got to feel good. It's got to have a good vibe to it. Because if you don't believe it and you don't feel good when you say it, once again, it will not move you. You can spend a lot of time trying to do this and get nowhere. So let me give you some examples. You need to write out these affirmations, by the way, and post them on your desk. Let me give you some examples. I worked with a woman who wanted to go on the trip for her company. Okay, they had a big trip. Do you guys have a trip? Oh, okay. Okay, great. All right. She wanted to go on a trip with her company, and so her affirmation was, I'm in the $650,000 circle of excellence. I'm in the $650,000 circle of excellence, which is how much her team had to sell for her to go on the trip. She said this religiously. She said it every day. She said it enthusiastically. She pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. And year after year after year, she never made it. She got close. She never made it. Finally, she came to me. She said, Pat, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know, I'm consistent. I say it. And I said to her, I said, well, Judy, how do you feel when you say that? She goes, I feel sick to my stomach. I said, well, you know, how can you create something good if you're feeling bad. It doesn't compute. You can't have a good outcome with negative input. So I said, you can't feel sick to your stomach. What do you feel? What's making you sick? Well, every time I say it, all I think about is how much more I have to sell, how many more I have to recruit, how far I am away from that, how it's way out there, and how I'll probably never do it. I said, well, that's guaranteed to get you where you are, which is not doing it. So we changed it. We found something she felt better about, okay? Her new affirmation was, I choose to give the gift of my business to all the women, cosmetic company, all the women I meet, and know that the right ones will be on my team, and I will be dancing with my husband in Spain. That was the trip that year. That year, I got a cute postcard from Madrid. She went to Spain. Why? Did she change the product? No. Did she change the opportunity? No. She changed what she thought and she felt. And when she changed that, everything changed, right? Another woman was working her corporate job, wanted to leave her corporate job to go into her business. But every time she thought about leaving her job, she kept telling herself, I won't have any insurance. I won't have this. I won't have that. I won't have overtime. I won't have this. I won't have that. So she focused on everything negative or everything she was going to lose by leaving that job and going into the business that she loved. And she kept herself in her job because of it. Finally, I said to her, stop focusing on the negative. Let's focus on what you want. Let's focus on how you want to be in this industry and what you want from your business. Well, she loved rap music. And she made up a kind of a rap little ditty. Once again, she was trying to recruit women. And she said, the women I'm looking for are looking for me. The women I'm looking for are looking for me. She did it a lot better than I'm doing it, but you know, you got the idea. She was bouncing around, she was singing this song, the women I'm looking for are looking for me. And what she liked about that is that she felt that she was looking for them, but they were also looking for her and the opportunity. She did her rap. She did that for about 4 or 5 months. She recruited over 60 people in 6 months, left her job, making more money in her direct selling business than she had ever made corporate-wise. It's a success story, all right? What did she do? She changed her brain, all right? Writing it or listening to it 20 times a day for 21 days. That's what it takes to put a new belief into your unconscious. I want you right now, with your partner, okay, to talk about, and write it out later, what is your new statement about these 2 goals that you want? Use I choose. Make sure you believe it, and make sure you feel good when you say it, okay? Your 2 goals, this is the new statement. Go ahead.
What is it, babe? 300 people a year. For 300 people who improve their income by 10 to 25,000 per year. 300 people. If we have 300 people in our organization that have an income of 10 to 25,000 per year, will that be at the level of the double diamond? Yes, absolutely. 300 people. Because that's the goal. 300 people improve their income by 10 to 25,000 a year.
If you bring in 10 people, and each of those 10 people bring in 10 people.
That's 20. Oh, that's 100. 10 people.
If you bring in 10 people,